Oh my gosh, holy cow. Insane face-offs, crazy cults, and of course, the infected.
I got infected!
Today, we are reacting to the medical scenes and injuries from the highly popular video game Last of Us Part 2. Let's dive right in. Oh! Maybe it looks like to the leg and such close range, so everything's really compact. I'm just thinking about like your ears. Are you gonna have ringing in your ears, which is tinnitus? Are you gonna perforate the tympanic membrane? Nobody's wearing ear protection. Did it fracture the bone? Did it hit major blood vessels? It's like super dark, so it's really hard to tell. Right to the neck, ear, jaw area, and you see kind of blood splatter. Typically, it wouldn't actually splatter that easily. You're still trying to break through the tissue. Once that occurs, then maybe, but not kind of right away. The graphics are so good compared to the first one. Oh, they hit him on the face. There was a laceration just to the lateral aspect of the eye on the area of what we call the zygomatic arch, which is actually a super common area where people get lacerations and the skin just pops open. There are a lot of blood vessels there, so it bleeds a lot and it's like super scary, but super simple to actually sew up. Typically, sutures we leave in the face for about 5 days with the tiniest suture string that we can use. Is that a 9-iron?
You don't get to rush this.
Oh my god. Taking any object and hitting somebody with it is going to cause a lot of pain. But I actually play golf. I couldn't imagine actually swinging and hitting somebody with that. Golf club would probably actually snap against somebody's head or face, but you're going to cause massive amount of trauma. You're going to break a jaw. You're going to crack open a skull. You're going to cause a laceration. You could cause internal bleeding into the brain itself, subdural hematoma and epidural hematoma. Oh, that was a fall from about 10 feet. Typically, you really worry about falls that are greater than about 15 feet. But the way that she fell on her back, my back. But then you always worry about hitting the back of the head and a whiplash injury. Oh, under the water. Go, get out of the water. Or not. The thing that you always worry about is obviously inhaling the water into the lungs, and then you don't have any ability to oxygenate in the alveoli because it's just saturated with water. How long can somebody actually hold their breath for? Maybe a couple minutes. There are professional divers that can go a little bit longer. Most people try to hold your breath, try to get to a minute, try to get to 2 minutes. It's actually pretty difficult. And then add on the extra stress and the adrenaline that's going through your system. It actually shortens up pretty fast. Oh! Axe to the side, left flank, you worry about the spleen, you worry about the lungs, unlikely getting all the way to the heart itself in just one swing, but you can fracture a rib. The fractured rib could cause a puncture to the spleen. Then you might actually puncture a lung, which causes a hemothorax or pneumothorax. That needs to be emergently fixed. And obviously every time you take a deep breath, it's gonna hurt. What? Right to the top of the shoulder. The shoulder is a very simple joint connecting the arm to our body. You got your scapula in the back, and then you have your clavicle, and you got kind of the ribs underneath. So it's kind of like a free floating, a lot of connective tissue. So once you start breaking it down and you're breaking the connective tissue, it's just going to be floppy and not move around very well. Knife injuries. What is that? Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Oh my gosh, holy cow. The knife wound puncturing directly into that aspect of the neck. Actually, it's the right side of the neck. You worry about your jugular vein that sits right underneath your sternocleidomastoid. Then you have the carotid, which sits underneath that. But then you also have your trachea and your esophagus. If you actually got that impaled into your neck and say you're doing okay at the moment, literally stabilize it, be slow, and get to emergent care. Oh, he's got it. Oh, look at that arrow straight through the back coming out the front. You actually have to snip off the front piece. You break that off, cut it off, and you would take the rest of the arrow back the other direction. Could it go through the sternum? Maybe, but it's probably just to the left of it. Could it have missed major structures? Maybe. There is kind of like a section where it might just hit the lung and miss any of the major vasculature relating to the heart and miss the heart itself. Oh my gosh, just like dripping his own like lacerated face blood all over her face. That's gross. The biggest thing you would worry about is actually if it's getting in your eye because of the absorption into your body because of the mucosal membranes of the eye itself. Nose, mouth, not necessarily the worst case is the eyes. and if you have any open areas where you actually have cuts and this blood can get into. Oh, damn. Looked like almost like a pick to the right side, directly through, just under the ear. Maybe hits your cerebellum, maybe hits the brainstem in the back. Basically, the brainstem has to do with your autonomic nervous system, heart rate, respiratory rate, like the basic drives that you don't even think about doing. And your brainstem is made up of your pons, your medulla oblongata, and your midbrain. Oh, nice. Distraction. Oh, shot right to the head, a little splatter of blood. Could happen in that circumstance. It depends on the caliber of bullet. If it goes straight through, if it bounces around, which it does. I don't mean bounce around, but change direction. Oh, shot to the right hip, between the ribs, between the hip itself. There is a little bit of area that's not protected by any bone, right to the abdomen. The major thing you worry about is hitting the aorta at that point, and soft tissue injury, and then obviously the hollow organs that are there, large intestine, small intestines. Chokehold. That position looks like somebody's going to be choked out in a very short period of time. Decreasing blood flow out of the brain. You're not be able to pump a lot back in. You're going to pass out, or you can pass out from causing a lot of pressure to the trachea, as well as messing with certain receptors that we actually have in our major blood vessels in our neck. So it's multifactorial. Not a chokehold. That definitely caused a cervical disruption. With all that pressure and the rotation, you worry about a high cervical fracture that then disrupts the spinal cord up at the brainstem. Oh, whoa! I was not expecting pieces to be flying around. In the civilian world, we don't actually get these type of injuries. Typically, if somebody were to be alive in that situation, it would be a fact that they would be missing a limb, which we do see from traumatic injuries, car accidents, mostly motorcycle accidents. Sometimes during like July 4th weekend, you can have events where people are using fireworks that can cause injuries. Oh, we see people who do get injured to the face. A lot of the face might be missing, but they're still alive, they're still breathing. We're gonna sedate them and intubate them so they don't have to deal with that agony, and we can get bleeding control of all the major blood vessels and work on figuring out how to repair it. Wow. This seemed totally different than the first Last of Us that I was checking out. This was very specific to, injuries that occurred in this game. Don't forget, check out the link in the description below for the merch. It's a limited run. If you guys like this, and if you want to see more or a different take on The Last of Us Part 2, please let me know in the comments. And as always, make sure you check out all the videos in this playlist, binge watch them all. Make sure you subscribe, turn your bell notifications on, and hit that like button. Thank you so much, and stay healthy, my friends.